The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
And welcome to this episode of The Grind. My name is Hibak Saeed. This week, we're going to be concentrating on the beauty industry. We want to talk about barbers. We want to see how exactly they do their business. We know that men have a very strong relationship with their barbers. We want to see why and how exactly you can make money from this. But first, let's have a look at the market margins. The male beauty industry, although not as vibrant and lucrative as the women's beauty industry, but it's growing as the Kenya middle class bulges and the population turns towards grooming and personal style as the next level of self-actualization. In 2024, the beauty and personal care market in Kenya generated a revenue of 2.3 billion Kenyan shillings, and this market is projected to experience an annual growth rate of 6.78%. The largest segment within this market is personal care, with a market volume of 1.21 billion Kenyan shillings in 2024. When considering the population size, the per capita revenue in Kenya's beauty and personal care market amounts to 40.89 billion Kenyan shillings in 2024. Furthermore, it is expected that online sales will contribute 1.9% of the total revenue in the beauty and personal care market by 2024. Kenyan consumers are increasingly embracing natural and organic beauty products, driven by a growing awareness of sustainability and health consciousness. And right from our market margins, we have our entrepreneur of the week. We want to see how exactly he does this thing. This is not just a barber, this is a luxury barber, a person who takes this personalized care and makes it even more special for his customers. You can start by introducing yourself. What is your name? How many years have you been doing this?
My name is Jakes. I've been a barber for 6 years now.
Right.
Yep.
And how exactly has your journey been like? I know this is a very, delicate business that you're doing. You have a very personal relationship with your customers. How have you done this for 6 years?
It's been a quite difficult journey, but as well, I've been trying to maintain the relationships with customers, just doing a good job,
Right.
Creating good relationship with them, communication and all that.
And why exactly did you start this business?
Personally, I have a passion about art. I've always been a guy that loves art, that has passion with just making beauty, making people feel nice and look nice. So I had to pursue it even more to make a living out of it.
And you have your skills. How exactly did you acquire your skills? How did you market yourself when you were starting?
Well, as to skills, I've been a guy, as I said, I'm so passionate about it. So it's something that has just been in me. I can say a talent, but of course, ever since I started now doing it professionally like this, I had to learn on my own about certain skills, how to keep up with the relationship with clients and all that. But I can say it's much of a talent.
All right. And as you continue cutting Ryan's hair, maybe if I could just ask you, trends are always changing. This is the aesthetic business. What is happening this week is not what will be happening next week. How do you keep up with these trends?
So now the thing about trends is a thing of ups and downs, because each and every day there's a new trend. So it's all up to me that I always have to keep up with the trend that's going on, change my skills, upgrade my skills. Otherwise, That's how it is.
Jax, I know that while you're doing this business, there are always challenges that usually come up. You've been doing this for 6 years. What would you say are some of the challenges of this business?
Honestly, we face a lot of challenges here. I do face a lot. And some of them are also like just what you just mentioned, trends. Sometimes you can find some quite difficult trends to keep up with. Those are some of the challenges. Also, building the relationship with clients, keeping up with that, it's also difficult sometimes, as much as I try. Yeah. And also getting clients. It's also a very big challenge.
Okay. I know when we were younger, the main style that we used to know was, shaving everything off and then someone starts afresh. But I see that right now there's, the fade, and of course you need to have a little bit of hair. Have you ever been in a situation where a client wanted something that you could not do?
Yeah, I have. Actually, it's one of the challenges because we have, okay, let me say, when I started, there are certain different types of hair. We have this African hair, we have Caucasian and all that. And then sometimes a client would tell you they want this type of a haircut. And actually you can see their hair cannot make out that type of haircut. And as well, the head shape or all that. And then the client just want that. So it's difficult that too.
Right. You do a lot of human relations, so you have to convince your customer that maybe this might not be the style for them. How do you have that conversation? Because sometimes people don't understand that maybe it's your head shape that is not making the style happen. How do you do that with your customers?
Okay, I try as much as to make it more polite, telling them in a way that they don't get frustrated or they don't feel bad. But some customers, they don't really take it positive. They just want what they want.
Right.
So
do you do it anyway and then you deal with the consequences after?
Yeah, I try as best as I can to just do it the way that they might be satisfied with and deal with the consequences. But usually sometimes I have to stand the ground and tell the customer the truth about it, that it can't come out nice on the head, something like that.
Now it's been 6 years. Of course, you have some customers who usually come in and some of them return, some of them don't return. What would you say is what you do to retain some of these clients so that they keep coming to you? How do you forge that kind of relationship?
All right. Firstly, I can say doing the best of what you do. Because if I don't make a good haircut, a nice haircut, the client wouldn't come back. So I can say I do it to the best that I can. And also that relationship, keep up with the clients, communication, keeping up with them, yeah, telling them, giving them treats, how to treat their hair, how to maintain it and all that, they'll always come back. Yeah.
Jax, there is the price point issue. Of course, the prices that you offer your services may not be the prices with other people. And there's the aspect of competition as well between you and people who offer the same services that you do. How do you give your clients an edge so that they stay with you?
Of course, I offer reasonable prices to the services that I do. Like I cannot, let me give for example, I cannot charge 1K to a client and then later on shave something that he doesn't get satisfied with. Like he can feel maybe that they've paid too much for the haircut or the service that they've gotten. So I can say, of course, some clients, they complain despite the good work and all that, but I can say we do offer a very fair price, even though different to other people, a very fair price to the services that we do.
And do you usually have perks with your services? Are there maybe additional things that you do for your customers?
Yeah. There are things like pedicures, manicures, facials, massages. We also offer that apart from haircuts. So, yeah.
Right. I'm very curious because I know men aren't always receptive to things like pedicures and manicures. And if these are services that you're offering, how exactly do you convince your clients to take this? What is the uptake in Kenya? Are men more open to pedicures and manicures?
Okay, about convincing clients to do especially such extra services. We usually tell them about the advantages of doing such. For example, facials. Of course, you need your face clean and nice, smooth skin and all that. And of course, anyone wants that. So it's easy to get someone to do it. But of course, there are things like just what you say in Kenya, culture affects, and also religion. Sometimes you get a religious person that can tell you, oh, my religion doesn't allow me to be touched by a lady doing facials. Of course, we just have to understand that way. And also some that say, oh, my culture and all that, some find it so weird or so unsocial to maybe do such with a lady and all that. So maybe you just have to understand.
Just finally, when it comes to you and relating to your clients, there are people who are watching you right now who want to do exactly what you're doing. Could you maybe just tell us what is the trick in establishing yourself in this business? Okay,
I can say the trick is you just have to be patient, especially with your art. Do it to your best. You know, there are some, I can say, hairdressers, barbers that maybe always get on a rush doing this thing. But then, as for me, I take barbering as art. Right. So now you cannot make a good architecture if you are just rushing. So I can say, take your time, be patient, clients will come. It's not actually mostly about money. That is to the people who really want to start this. I can say it's not really about money. It's about perfection. That
was our entrepreneur of the day. We just wanted to know how exactly he does his business. We have been seeing how he has been treating Ryan's hair, and we will be seeing the outcome later on. But first, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll have Business Capital, and then we'll have our expert of the week. Things are only getting better and better. Don't go too far.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m.
Welcome back to The Grind. We're talking about the aesthetic industry, talking about beauty. Today we have been focusing on the barber industry. We did have Jax, who was telling us some of the things that he does. He has been doing this for 6 years, and this seems to be a very lucrative market. But before we go even further, let's have our business capital. So what would you need to get into this industry? 1. Research the market. Check the local demand for barber services, the competition, and the average prices for services. This information will help you determine the execution of your business idea. 2. Create a business plan. A comprehensive business plan should include your target market, marketing strategy, financial and operational plans. This plan will help you secure funding and stay on track as you build your business. Obtain the necessary licenses. To legally operate a barber shop in Kenya, you'll need to obtain a business license, register your company, and get a tax identification number (TIN) from the Kenya Revenue Authority. Find a suitable location. Look for a location that is easily accessible, visible, and has sufficient parking for your customers. Consider the surrounding businesses when choosing a location. Purchase equipment and supplies. You'll need to buy barber chairs, mirrors, clippers, scissors, combs, razors, and other supplies. You can purchase these items from a supplier or wholesale distributor. And right from our business capital, we have our analyst and expert of the week who will be telling us about this particular business. If you could just start by introducing yourself. What is your name? Why did you go into this business?
I am Barbara Midega. The founder of Midega London Hair. Midega is actually my surname. So this all started very accidental. I started more with the aesthetic spa, I would call it, or aesthetic services, into fat freeze, cavitation. Then the hair thing was very, very accidental. It was just literally me maybe getting tired of braids when I first moved back to Kenya. I'm originally Kenyan, but I grew up in London. So it was just, okay, I've done the braids now, I'm over it. I miss my wigs. So going around Kenya looking for good quality wigs I couldn't find at the time. So I just decided, okay, when I go back to London for a holiday, I'll get a few wigs, come back, and I'm settled. Then when I came back, my clients from the spa started noticing that my extensions were different, or shall I say wigs. So they were like, do you sell these? Where did you get it from? Can you get me one? So I was like, okay, I can get you one. One of my friends is a hairstylist in the UK. So I was like, okay, sis, the client wants the same wig as mine. Can you make her? You know, that's good money. Then I'll just buy from her. So just started one by one. Then I started working with influencers. Then before you know it, it spread like wildfire. And 2 years down the line, here we are.
Barbara, let's focus on your male clients a little bit. I do realize that sometimes tapping into that market could be a bit difficult because men do require their services to be given in a certain manner. How exactly have you taken that up? How do you cater to your male clients?
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that I thought would take a very long time to pick up, because I've never done any services to do with male, except for obviously things like massage. But when it comes to hair, it's very, very, I was scared. And surprisingly, it picked up more than any other services. Well, shall I say much quicker, not more, than any other services actually. They accepted it. I mean, I offered premium barbering services like you've seen with my colleague Jake's. And it's not just barbering. I think they appreciate the whole package, where you can come, you get pampered, you got the manis, the pedi for them, the facials. Then I gave them their own section, separated it. And at times you have the VIP room as well. So for those that don't feel comfortable, we can they have options, but no, it's been so well. I'm quite happy with it, more than happy actually.
Right. You've talked about luxury services, which is what you guys are offering. And Jax did tell us that, while he's been doing this for 6 years, the clients want premium quality, but the pricing should also be fair. How exactly do you set your pricing?
Actually, it's very fair. Before I set my prices, of course, you do your research around the area that you're in to make it fair, but at the same time, it shouldn't be a loss because it is a bit more premium. What you get here, you're not going to get in your standard barbershop. It's not just about the, cutting your hair. It's the whole experience, and customer service is key. So I think one thing they really appreciate about this space is not as much as, the aesthetic is nice, but the customer service is really what keeps this whole organization going.
Right. The beauty industry is constantly changing. You did talk about how, you brought your own wigs and your female clients did, relate with it a lot and they did start buying it as well. Right. I've seen nowadays that men also do get wigs made for them. Is this something you'd be looking into? How are you keeping up with trends?
Slowly. I just introduced the barbering, so we're just trying to figure out how, maybe we can introduce something of similar to the guys. So far, they haven't really complained about their hairline as much as the ladies do, but it's something that I have thought about. And everything is just about timing. When the time is right, you never know. Why not? I mean, it's another service, it's more money. So, yes, it's something that, I'm thinking about. So I'm just trying to weigh about the timing. Is it the right time? Shall we still just slowly introduce them to our male services? Then once we build that clientele, then we introduce new services.
And the service industry keeps on changing. And I do realize that, it also depends on the economic situation of the country. Sometimes your customers do have, that disposable income that they can spend, and sometimes they don't. What would you say is the trends when it comes to times? When do you guys have a peak? When does it go a bit low?
We are actually in peak season as kids go to school. I think terms really control the beauty industry, and it's something I had to learn when I came to Kenya, because obviously in London every day is the same. There's no such thing as, oh no, it's lower season because the kids are off or whatnot. So right now it's peak September, when kids go back to school, all the way to January. Then maybe I'm sure my peers can back me up. I think from sort of February, March, it kind of starts to be just quiet a little bit, although it's stable. But yeah, I think peak normally starts from September onwards to about February for us.
So how exactly do you deal with, the dip season, and how do you keep, your clientele and even your workers' morale during these times?
It's just, I guess what we're quite different with is the way we market ourselves. It's very, very consistent. I don't stop. Even on quiet days or quiet times, that's when I even push marketing even more. It's very important to never get comfortable in any business that you're in. So to me, every day, it's a new day. Even if I had the best day yesterday, I tend to forget about it quickly, just to keep that motivation and not to forget, because the industry, it's so competitive. The minute you just slip, somebody's there to take your spot. Yeah.
And it's not always rosy, as you said. There are so many challenges. What are some of these challenges and how do you even overcome them?
The challenges I find, it's actually in business overall, it's managing people. Honestly, it's not the products or the quality of the work that I trust. It's just managing different characters. Of course, managing clients. It's a whole different system. I've got how many services I introduced. So I'm still new to that as well. More information, keeping up to date with the industry, what's new, what's not, what's working, what's not. So I think the challenges is just constantly staying on top of the business and the industry. Yeah, it takes a lot physically and mentally.
All right, let's talk about expansion for a minute here. I do realize that the service industry sometimes is for you, sometimes is against you, and no one ever knows when is it time to move to the next step. When would you say this is? How fast or how slow should you be in your expansion, ambitions?
I think it just depends on each individual, how you move. I mean, I think this is my 3rd year. So it took me, something like this, I know it would take some people a lot of time, maybe 5 to 8 years. I've been told that. So I'm very, very lucky, I would say, to have moved this fast in a space like this within 2 years. But that's because of the hard work I've put in, my other business partners who put in, and the vision I have. And that all comes down to discipline and well planning. That's literally what it is. If you plan well, you discipline yourself, you know your goal, then you can move as fast as even the first time you open a business. It could be the best business within that town, that city of that time. I think it's just how well you prepare yourself for situations like this.
All right, and the digital space is something that you've harnessed to grow your business as well. How exactly is that working out for you? What are some of the tips you could give people?
Amazing. I mean, we launched our app. It's called MLH app. It's available on Android and iOS last year, November. And I think that was the beginning for us as a business on the digital space. I think that really set a standard. That it wasn't just about me selling wigs, it was a whole of experience. So from Instagram we use for content, our app, of course, to sell our products, to reach a wider audience. Again, not everybody's on Instagram. So to make maybe the experience a little bit more smoother for clients, you can do your bookings on there. You can actually discover other salons on there too. It gives a platform for new people, freelancers. You can find anybody within your area in that platform. So it's amazing because it's created jobs, of course, for people, my employees as well. I've given tech people jobs, digital space, the creators, more active, the ones that work with me, they become more effective. We learn from each other, they learn from me, I learn from them. So I think it's an amazing thing. Without the digital platform, I don't think we'll be talking right now. I'm sure you can agree.
Right, that's true. Now, maybe now that we're wrapping up, there are people who are watching you and maybe they want to do what you're doing right now. Give them a one-liner. What rule should they live by?
Hard work beats talent all the time. You could be the best in what you do, but if you do not put in the work, it will go unnoticed. And the person that may be okay at doing it, they might be just average, but the hard work would be seen better than the good work, the person that's perfect. So just always remember, hard work beats perfect work.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hard work beats talent. You could be the most talented person in that room, but as long as you're not putting in the work, you're going to be missing out. This has been The Grind. Thank you so much for joining us. Do give us tips, tricks, comments, compliments, and maybe even criticism on our socials on your screen right now. You can even send us businesses that you'd like for us to cover, again, on the numbers and social media handles on your screen. But for tonight, that's it for me. Have yourselves a very lovely night. My name is Hibat Said.